Why do couples argue all the time? Why is it that you're clashing heads, you're clashing viewpoints, and one always gets louder and more intense than the other? This is Dr. Spencer Coaches. Today, I'm going to talk to you about why couples argue all the time, because this is such a rampant problem in relationships that it often drives couples apart. Now, the reason why couples argue all the time, there's going to be three reasons. The first one is emotional needs are not met. The second one is one person always has to be right. And the third one is not listening or not acknowledging. So let's go over these. Emotional needs not being met. What is meant by that? Well, childhood emotional needs that are brought into adulthood unconsciously get drawn out in relationships. Because if you had a parent that never supported you, never made you feel accepted, never made you feel nurtured, or never made you feel like they're the source of growth within your life, meaning that if you had an idea and you wanted to explore that idea, that it was supported by your parents. Maybe you got beaten down. Maybe you had a narcissistic parent who was abusive, who always just put you down through derogatory names. Or maybe there was an emotionally absent parent who just never empathized with you, so you never felt supported or nurtured. Or maybe the parent was just absent. They weren't physically there. They were only around on the weekends. Or when they came home, they never spent any time with you. So you never knew who you can lean on, who you can get advice from. So there's a feeling of a lack of support. So when you enter into a relationship, and this is the most common reason why couples argue, is because these emotional needs are projected onto the partner. Why don't you support me? How come I don't feel supported by you? How come, as men will say, how come you're not following my leadership? As a woman, it's how come I don't feel emotionally supported? And for whatever situation that revolves around, it will manifest. And how come you're not doing the dishes? How come I'm the one always doing the cleaning? How come you never listen? It's all saying, how come you don't support my emotional needs? How come I don't feel nurtured by you? Why is it that I feel like I'm in this alone? You follow what I'm saying? Why is it I'm doing all the work? That's the essence of my emotional needs are not being met. Number two, you always have to be right. You'll hear this from one person or the other. You know what I mean, ladies. More women do this than men. I'm always right, so they always have to win. No matter what you say, you always have to win. Meaning you're making the other person wrong all the time. Imagine if you were made to feel wrong 100% of the time in every conversation. It would drive you mad. It would make you want to leave. That's why men leave relationships. Because the wife or the girlfriend always has to be right. And they belittle the other person. So that just drives, or if you're a man doing it to a woman, I'm not saying women always is 100%, but you know what I'm saying here. It's the gaslighting. It's the manipulation. It's the bending of views. In other words, you're going to take on a viewpoint, a justification, just so you can be right, just so you can win the argument, and then switch positions just so you can be right again and deny that you're arguing another position 30 seconds ago. The gaslighting. You follow what I'm saying? When you become manipulative in the way you talk to people just so you can be right, and the other person sees it, and then you make them wrong for calling you out, that's even worse. That's just demoralizing. I mean, it can go from I'm always right to now I'm going to demoralize you all the time. What's the impact that that has on the other person? Number 3, not listening, not acknowledging. If you always have to be right, if you're always arguing that my emotional needs, why don't you listen to me? Why don't you support me? Why don't you understand me? You're not going to listen to another person. Because both parties are essentially saying my emotional needs are not being met. I'm not feeling supported. I'm feeling all alone. How come you don't acknowledge what it is that I feel? How come I don't feel like you're on my side? Rather than, babe, talk to me. And it's up to you to create a space safe enough. Now, these are the solutions. Listen deeply, express authentically, and create a safe space. So you need to create a safe space, man or woman, for your spouse, for your partner, so that they can open up and reveal what it is they really feel, what it is they value, and what it is that they want and what they need. Or you need to express that authentically. What you want, what you need, your value system, what's important to you, and your feeling, which usually revolves around your value system. Your values aren't being met, you're going to get upset. There's going to be an emotional upset, an aggravation, an irritation, an anger, if you will. A sense of sadness and disappointment. Babe, I'm disappointed in you because when I asked you to do something, you didn't do it. And when you said you would, that tells me that this isn't important to you. That means what I value about the home or the relationship or my time isn't important to you. And I feel like you're not really supporting my life when I'm supporting yours. You follow what I'm saying? Express authentically. Hey, look, I'm not feeling supported. I'm feeling scared. I'm entering into a time of my life where I'm going through some transitions, and my value systems are changing. My belief systems are changing, and it's changing the way I look at you and the way I relate to you. And I'm afraid that it's going to create distance between us. And I wanted to express this to you because I want us to stay together, but my value systems are changing. I'm no longer going to be drinking, and I don't want to be an enabler. I'm getting more disciplined. I'm getting more focused. And I know you want to continue to smoke cigarettes. I don't want to do that anymore. You follow what I'm saying? Or when you talk to me, I feel like you're talking down on me, and I feel like you're belittling me, and it makes me feel like I don't matter. And I don't really enjoy feeling like I don't matter, because it's important to me that I feel like I'm an equal in this, because I need to know that we're on the same side. Do you follow what I'm saying? You have to express yourself authentically. And the other side is create a safe space. If you're going to set somebody up to win an argument, it's usually done on grounds where you have your friends with you and they have nobody. Or it's in your territory. You know, come on into my office, or come on into the kitchen. You follow what I'm saying? There's no neutral ground. And then the other person feels like energetically there's this kind of being ganged up on, not by people, but by the environment. You're in my home. You know, if you're in my home, you're going to do what I say. If you're in my apartment, or you're in my room, you're going to do what I say. You're going to respect my space. It's a one-way road. And then the other person doesn't really feel like they have a voice to even speak from, a position to stand on. Do it in a neutral space. The living room, outside on the patio, a cafe, out in a park. Someplace that nobody owns, and it creates a neutral space, and then make them feel safe. Just open your heart and be in a state of unconditional acceptance. Just accept whatever it is they tell you, and don't take anything personally. When you begin to take things personally, when you feel attacked because you're taking things personally, as some people may make it personal. They know what irritates you. They know what bothers you. And they use those against you because they want to win. They're simply in it to win. They're not in it to create an understanding. And if you call them out, hey, look, I see you just want to win the argument. You don't really care about how I feel and what I think and my position on this matter. You just want to win the argument so you can feel powerful. I don't know what you're getting out of that except for the feeling of victory. I'm not here to battle with you. I'm trying to create an understanding. Can we do that? And if they still, oh, there you go again, blah, 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 they're just trying to belittle you. They're usually a narcissist, and there's no winning against a narcissist. If you find yourself in a relationship with one, just walk away. There's no winning. There's no changing them. There's no turning them into a better person. I see a goodness in them. Just forget it. Just walk away. Take your loss and move on. But for us, healthy relationships is what I'm referring to here. I mean, you're going to encounter people who are just not psychologically sound and deeply insecure and need to play these manipulation, these mind games, if you will, just to have power over you. So it gives them a sense of false security. And for whatever reason, that's just the way they are. You're not going to win against that person. You're not going to come to any understanding. I'll give you a story. I experienced that. And I'm not saying, I'm the good guy or they're the bad person, she was bad. We both had problems. When our value systems clashed, I felt, lived in a very unhealthy lifestyle. I wanted to grow. I still want to grow. I exercise every day. I eat healthy. But meeting her, I went back into my, let's just say, college days. I began to party again. This is during COVID. And she is what you would call an enabler. And then I became an enabler of her bad habits as well. But so when I tried to initiate healthy eating and healthy lifestyle, like exercising, she belittled me for it and said, yeah, right. I know who you really are. And it was like, wow, that's what I presented myself. I gave that to her because I became my old self again. And when I tried to say, no, this isn't right for me. So you see the point is there is an inherent difference in value systems. If you find yourself dating an enabler, well, good luck with that. Good luck on improving your life when they're just going to keep feeding you bad habits. Here's another pack of cigarettes. Have another beer. Let's smoke this now, or whatever it is. Let's sleep in all day Saturday instead of creating a game plan and working on it. If you want to succeed in life, it takes a lot of discipline and focus. Make sure you have the right partner who's going to support you in that, and that you're not going to belittle them for not being a high performer as you are. Not everyone's a high performer, but if they're supportive of you, they're saying, babe, come talk to me. Let me fix you something to eat. There's a mutual support in the relationship. That's a healthy relationship. When you're arguing all the time, it's usually because there's an emotional need that is not being met, and that comes from childhood. And that's the most common cause of couples arguing. So examine what that emotional need is. Talk about the childhood, because it usually comes from not feeling supported, not feeling nurtured. In other words, your growth was not being fed, just like a plant needs to be watered. Your emotional development, your self-esteem and your self-worth wasn't nurtured or wasn't developed with your parent. I mean, it was belittled. Maybe it was the exact opposite, or it was just ignored. And you want that emotion to be watered, to be fed. That's what it means to be supported. I'm on your side. I have your back. Whatever you need. That is the healthy relationship. You want to go for there. So learning to ask for what you need and learning to open up and be authentic. And in other words, be revealing, be transparent, be intimate. Say, my dad wasn't really supportive of anything I did, and I've always wanted it just to feel that sense of teamwork, to feel like that someone's on my side. I thought you were that person, but sometimes you say things that feels like you're against me. If you think that what I'm doing is impractical, then come talk to me with constructive criticism, but don't belittle me. I know you're not that kind of person. I know you have bad days. I get it. I could really use some support. I could really use someone to brainstorm with, to bounce ideas off of. Things like that. You got to ask for what you need. It's important for me that I want to grow in this period of my life. express what you value, because the emotions are going to revolve around your value system. Express your values, what you need, and what you want. And that's going to make sure the other person listens. And the other side, in listening, don't just listen to the words. Empathize. Really hear what they're really saying. It's usually, I feel all alone, I'm scared. There's an insecurity woven into it. And all you got to do is say, I'm right here with you. I hear you. And repeat back what they say so they know that you heard them. And be supportive. If you can't be supportive, then maybe you're not right for that person. And you need to be the bigger person and say, look, I get what you want to do and what you're saying. I just can't be that supportive with you. I just have so much going on in my life. I can't give to you what you need. And it's not right of me to lead you on. You need to be the bigger person and end it. If the other person can't deliver, or if you can't deliver, then it's not a healthy relationship. So think about that, something to ponder. If you're finding yourself arguing a lot and you don't know how to resolve these arguments, and it's really frustrating. I get it. I understand. I've been there. So those are the essence of the reasons why couples argue all the time. Emotional needs aren't met. One person always has to be right. That's an ego trip. And then one person is never listening or acknowledging. And how you resolve it is you need to listen deeply, like empathize, not just hear the words, but really listen for what they're saying. Express yourself authentically on the other side. Express your needs, wants, and values. And then create a safe space. Have this conversation in a neutral, safe space and make each other feel accepted. That no matter what the outcome is, you still accept the person for who they are. Create a safe space. No harm, no judgment is going to come to them. This is Dr. Spencer Coaches. I sure hope that helps. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you have any of these challenges, go ahead and leave a comment below, and I will reply. Thank you so much for listening.